It's Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance in San Diego County. Today we are joined by Ron Morrison. He is the mayor of National City. He has been mayor for 10 years, and he is one that takes his State of the City addresses very seriously, but at the same time he wants to have some fun with them.
Absolutely.
And that's what we know about your State of the Cities. We recently had your last one, and the theme was?
Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland.
Why
I'm
not?
not sure what to make of that in the political context, but talk to us about all the characters that were shown in this video of Alice and how that was used to tell the story of your beautiful city.
Well, you know, we had a great time. We brought in a lot of individuals that everybody knows. And to take over the parts. And
elected officials.
Elected officials and community leaders throughout the region. And so, I say, we went through the Alice in Wonderland story, but in there people would ask us questions, and that would bring up stuff about the past of National City, what's happening today, what's going to happen.
So give us a quick primer. Give us a little of the past, a little today, a little of the future.
Well, it went all the way back from when National City was bought, formed. It was a Rancho de la Chone, and it became the National Ranch. And so National City at that time included all of National City, all of Chula Vista, Bonita, and Sunnyside.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And
so,
I remind our viewers, National City is right below San Diego and above Chula Vista.
Correct.
Okay.
And so, so Chula Vista later on was given to some friends of theirs, and that
is this in the 1800s?
That was all in the 1800s.
Okay.
Yes.
And then let's fast forward quickly to today.
And then today,
so 60,000 residents. A lot of people come in for work.
Oh yeah. You go from a census population of 60,000, but we have daytime population that more than doubles every day. So it's a lot of people coming in. They come into work. They come into shop. I mean, we have tremendous amount of businesses. Plaza Bonita, of course, the most successful shopping center in the area. All these different things going on. And so it becomes a really great community. I mean, we've had a bad reputation in the past, but now people are looking up to us and saying, how are you guys making all these things happening?
Right.
You know, why is your community changing?
How?
Well, it's really bringing people together. And instead of trying to, like in politics, normally the quickest way to success is dividing people up. And, that's what's seen in politics. We've taken the exact opposite and said, okay, how do we bring people together? And, instead of looking at differences, how is everybody together? And so in our case, we're all National Cityans. And so what is it about our community that makes us special? We're very multi-generational. People live there generation after generation.
Your family for many generations?
Mine for a couple of generations, yes. Okay. And so then everyone's kind of related to each other. Everybody knows each other. And yet a lot of that had been broken up. And so now we bring it back together. And so like for the State of the City, instead of it being, for dignitaries and everything, we invite the community. We had over 1,000 people show up for our last State of the City.
There's one thing that's unique about National City that's unlike really any other city on the coast. You're on the coast.
Yep.
But you have no accessible coastal front.
Not for the public.
The public cannot get to the coast in National City.
Correct.
Give us an explanation as to why.
Well, our coastline, we're part of the Port of San Diego.
Yes.
And that's not the city of San Diego. That's 5 cities.
Yes.
So it's San Diego, National City, Chula Vista, Imperial Beach, and Coronado.
Yes.
And normally when you think of the port, you think of the skyline of downtown San Diego. Sure. You think of Hotel Del, or you'll think of now they're talking about the Chula Vista Bayfront. Right. And in IB now they've got their waterfront out there that's all being done by the port. In National City, we have Naval Base San Diego.
Yes.
And then you've got the port industrial area. And so all that's behind barbed wire. So there's no actual access to the waterfront itself.
But there's got to be at least somewhere along that, 3-4 miles, where you can sneak in a little public access?
What we're doing now is we're working with the port to get some access down on the Sweetwater flood control channel.
Okay.
And so we have now put in a marina. That was a huge fight to finally get this marina in. It's turned out to be vastly successful. And now we've brought forth a balanced plan, what we call a balanced plan that balances the need of the maritime with the need of the people of National City, because we're a donor city. The port makes a lot of money in National City, and it gets spent to do stuff like the Embarcadero, and boathouses in Coronado, things along that line, and it doesn't get spent in National City because all they got is industrial land there. So what we're saying is there needs to be some give back to make sure that the people in National City have got a good reason to be part of the port, besides getting a lot of truck traffic and a lot of pollution and a lot of other things.
So let's presume the best. Should we see this access created, when would it happen, in your mind?
Well, we just, within the last month, have just met with the port. They have went to go out with start their CEQA documents and everything to start moving this process forward. It would actually enlarge. We have a small park there. It's the smallest park in the port. They have 69 acres of parks, and we have 1 acre out of the 5 cities.
Better than nothing.
So, yeah, so this is going to more than double that. This will also give us room for eventually a couple of hotels to go in and a lot of public access space down near the waterfront. So this is going to be huge for us.
I want to talk about government in National City. We can say a lot of things about term limits. On the one hand, it brought new blood. On the other hand, we lost institutional memory. In Sacramento, that was particularly acute. Term limits were reformed in Sacramento, so now folks can stay for 12 years total in either house. National City has a unique term limit scheme. So the mayor is term limited for 3 4-year terms, but it's not a lifetime term limit. You can leave after 3 terms and then come back. The city council has no term limits.
It's a strange hybrid. In that normally it's either all or nothing. In our case, we also have an elected city treasurer and city clerk. They have no term limits either.
So just the mayor.
Just the mayor only.
What's the history of that? How did that piecemeal system become, how was it created?
Well, I think it's kind of a knee-jerk reaction, much as term limits was in California.
Look, the 90s, we just saw term limits proliferating.
Exactly. And at the state level, Willie Brown was kind of the poster child, that went on that one. And that was a reaction to him and to a lot of other factors. And so here, we had a couple of mayors that were mayors for a long period of time. And so it was, well, how do we stop this?
But let's just play it out. There is one way to stop it.
Absolutely.
And that's called an election. You stop it by electing someone else. Now, folks would say, well, the power of incumbency is so grand and fundraising access becomes so limited when you have a strong incumbent that, in effect, there's not much that can be done unless you have this artificial barrier.
Well, I think we've seen in the last couple of elections here locally that has not played out. A good number of mayors got voted out. And
let's
that
face
were not
it, incumbent is not necessarily a good thing anymore.
No, and that's not. But I think the good governance should be. In other words, that if you've got someone who's doing a good job, I've seen people that have been in office for 30 years and they haven't been in office 30 years enough. I've seen other people that have been in office for 30 minutes and they've been in office 30 minutes too long. So I
couldn't say it better. Could not say it better, sir.
So to me, that the time, it should be about the individual and are they meeting the needs of the community or are they just running on incumbency?
So there are rumblings about trying to reform term limits in National City. Have you taken a public position, sir, as to whether term limits should be eliminated completely, or if you're going to have term limits, apply it to the city council as well?
I'm either direction.
So either way.
Either way. Either we should not have them, or if you're going to have them, it should be across the board.
Interesting.
And because if your philosophy is, then the incumbency is a bad thing, and well, then why doesn't it apply here also? And so, I think that's a good argument to have out there. But as I say, right now, the people of National City seem to be, for the most part, you can never please everybody, but for the most part, seem to be very, very happy on the direction we're going, things along that line. And so some people say, well, we need new blood.
Well, you'll come back and talk more about this term limit movement. His name is Ron Morrison. He is the mayor of beautiful National City, California, which may have a little coastal access soon.
Absolutely.
I'm Pomerance in San Diego County. It's Local Edition.